Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, happy Wednesday, and we're halfway there. Whoa, chicken on a bear. Okay, everybody, so we're halfway to the weekend. I hope everybody is having a great week. If not a great week, then a good week. Monday night, I watched 2 reality TV shows. I already covered The Bachelorette. I already yelled about that one. So tonight we're going to recap. Listen, this is one of my guilty pleasures, one of my favorite shows of the summer, and it is Claim to Fame season 2. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna talk about what happened in the mansion with all of the almost famous people. Well, I mean, they're more famous than I am. Okay, so we're starting off with Monet and Shane. Monet and Shane, I'm telling you, they are becoming a force to be reckoned with, a pair to be reckoned with. Monet and Shane, they were talking, and they took a look over Chris's clue. So Monet showed Shane Chris's clue. They had no idea of what it means. They're making up some kind of puppy Russian song. I don't know. They had no idea. So they said, let's give it to Jane. Let's show it to her. Then Olivia and Gabe were talking. Olivia doesn't talk to too many people. She's staying pretty under the radar. And Gabe was talking about his relative. So he's really running with the story that my relative is a player, meaning my relative is a football player. He's a football player. Listen, if I was Olivia, I would be thinking, he really keeps pushing this narrative that his relative is a football player. Is he really? He was talking about how his relative was dating a whole bunch of women at the same time, saying that he's a player. Well, he's not a football player, but he is a player. He's Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon has at least probably 75 children someplace. So, but it looks like Olivia and everybody else is buying that his relative is a football player. He's not. Also, Gabe was talking to Hugo. Hugo is almost 100% positive that Chris is related to, Nick Cage. He's convinced that he's related to Nicolas Cage because he saw a container of cage-free eggs, and he saw the Washington Monument. That's it. That's the only reason. If he's ever the guesser, unless somebody comes out and tells him who the person is, there is no way that he is ever going to guess it. Well, how about if we put these on? That's better. Okay. On, off. It's gonna be on. That might be my thumbnail. There, like that. There, like that. Okay. Okay, so Monet and Shane are talking to Jane, and they talk about the clue that Monet pulled. Now, we all know she pulled Chris's clue. Monet, there was a little bit of a flashback, and Monet said that Monet, I guess, told Jane that the clue mentioned a puppy. So in Jane's mind, Jane is like, I think that she pulled my clue because that was my relative's first hit. So she says to Monet, I think you pulled my clue. Monet says, no, I didn't. And then they say, well, tell us whose clue you pulled. And she says, I'm not, but I did not pull your clue. Jane keeps saying, I think you did. She's like, I did not pull your clue. and she just is not telling her, and she's just refusing to believe that she didn't. So, and Monet is saying this whole time, Monet's like, her strategy is to, first of all, she loves to stir the pot. She said she loves to stir the pot. But also Monet's strategy, she said, is to start paranoia. She was doing it with Jane. So that breaks up. And a little bit later, Chris is talking to a group that includes Monet. And Monet mentions in the clue that she pulled was a puppy, was a dog. I don't know if she said a puppy or a dog. I think she might have said, well, either one. I think she might have said a puppy. And when Chris heard that, he just left. Now listen, you probably shouldn't have done that because that could look suspicious. They didn't say anything like that looks suspicious. And then he went to talk to Jane. He talked to Jane about the clue. He was like, do you know what was involved in the clue? She says, I do. And Jane says, I think she pulled my clue. And Chris was like, listen, based on that, I think it was my clue that she pulled. And she was like, what? Listen, Chris was all worried about walking away from the conversation with Monet and them whenever they mentioned a puppy. But then he just said this to Jane. And I was like, why would you say this to Jane? Listen, Jane, out of everybody, could put the clues together. Monet, I don't know about it. You shouldn't have said that to Jane. I was like, why exactly would you tell Jane? So, challenge comes out. Here's the challenge. There's going to be 2 teams of 5 people. There's 2 team captains, and they have to pick their team. What it is each side has each contestant's face from the opposing team. Like there's 5 faces here of your team, and then there's 5, and then on this side there's 5 faces, like big giant, balls of the other team's faces. So on this side, there's 3 defenders and there's 2 shooters. Same on this side. What you have to do is you have to take the slingshot and put paintballs in and then shoot it and try and knock off each of the people on that side. The defenders have to defend. If your face is knocked out, then you are out of the game. And the team that loses, their captain is a guesser, and then that captain has to pick somebody from their team to be the guesser alongside of them. Okay, so the blue team, the 2 captains were Gabe, who did not want to be a captain, and Shane, who absolutely wanted to be a captain. Because if you win immunity, if your team wins, then that captain gets immunity. Okay, and also if your team loses, every member of that team has a clue revealed about them. Okay, so the blue team went down pretty quickly. So Gabe is a guesser, and he picks Jane. Great. I love that he picked Jane because I want her out. So leaving this challenge, Jane had said, well, since she may be a guesser. Before that, she has to set little fires everywhere amongst everybody. She also had said that if she leaves, this house is going to delve into just chaos. Like it's going to break out into chaos. Because what's everybody going to do without me here? Because you're so smart. We'll find out later. So then Gabe, Shane, and Monet, they're talking. And they're all talking that they think that they should pick Jane to guess. Surprising, because I thought that Jane, Shane, and Monet were like a little, I guess they share a room together. I thought that they were tight, but I guess not. Hugo and Jane then are talking with Chris. And then I guess, I don't know when Hugo had left, but Or no. It wasn't, no. She said this off camera, or like in her confession. She said that she has Hugo in her back pocket, and she's like 80% sure that he's related to Jimmy Carter because there is a peanut on there. And she thinks she's pretty sure that he won a Nobel Peace Prize, which he did. It's definitely Jimmy Carter. She's trying to play like this psychological game. And once again, she's like, what are they gonna do when I'm gone? I'm sure life will go on. As I'm going to reveal at the end of this video, I thought she was just really great at it. Not that much. Shane picks her clue, and she picks Carson because she's the one that nobody really knows, no one knows anything about. And that's true. There's some people that are so far under the radar, and those three people are Carson, Olivia, and Cole. Like, nobody has really talked about those three at all. Like, they're flying completely under the radar. And Cole is hearing everything because he's always with Shane and Monet and Jane. So he's hearing everything. So she picks Carson. Carson's clue doesn't really give anything to her that she can decipher. It does have a car, but she's related to Dale Earnhardt Jr. Carson then, meanwhile, is pushing Jane to pick Monet if she's the guesser because she thinks that she's related to Steve Harvey. And then that way, she thinks that they could break up the dynamic duo of Monet and Shane. Because Shane has won before. I think Shane has won before. Yeah. And Monet has won before, immunity before. Carson then is talking with Chris. And that is a very strong alliance there too. Carson's talking with Chris. And she figures out that Jane is related to Dolly Parton because on the clue, one of the clues, a couple of the clues that were given was that there was an orchid in Jane's hair, and Dolly Parton played at some, I don't know if it was called Orchid Cafe. It's in Nashville. She had on a dog collar. However, it was blue collar, 9 to 5. Dolly Parton. Carson then took that to, it was Carson or it was Carson or Gabe. I think it was Chris. It was Chris went to Gabe and told him, listen, Jane is related to Dolly Parton. So if you were picked as guesser, this is what you should go with. And he's like, I don't know. Tensions are pretty high going into the guess off. And they're pretty high as to like who's gonna be the guesser. So Monet shows Jane the clue. Jane is pretty sure that she knows who it is. That she knows who Chris is related to. But see, I don't know if she does though, because she's focusing on Fools Rush In, and she saw the seven tees, the 7 shirts, and she put it as 70s, not 70s. The Osmonds have 7 siblings. There's 7 kids in the Osmonds. That's 7 tees, 7 shirts. So she's pretty sure she knows who it is. So the guess off comes, and you're wondering, like, okay, if it's Jane, who is she gonna pick? Is she gonna pick Chris, or is she gonna pick Hugo? My thought is that she would pick Chris because she's like, I can use Hugo more than Chris. And then you're thinking, if Gabe's picked, who is he gonna pick? Because he can't pick Shane. He knew for certain Shane is related to Eddie Murphy. Who would he pick? So the vote is in. Jane is selected as the guesser. Who does she pick? Well, she picks Chris. Chris comes up and she says, I'm sorry. And Chris is like, no face at all, like nothing, like, it's okay. He doesn't say it's okay. He's just like, nice, I like it. So she comes up and she says who it is. She's like, I think your relative is, and then they went to commercial. I was like, oh shit, who are you gonna say? She comes up and she says, your relative, I believe, is Elvis Presley. And I lost it. I was like, what? What? You think it is Elvis Presley? See, here's the thing. She saw the dog and she thought hound dog, and then Fools Rush In, and then 70s, like he died in the 70s. It was a puppy, it was a dog, and then there was a heart. Puppy Love. That was a song from Donny Osmond. And the 70s is 7 shirts because there's 7 siblings in the family, the Osmonds. So they revealed, and it was not. So Jane is gone, and they revealed that it was Dolly Parton. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I love Dolly Parton. I just do. I love Dolly Parton. My mom loves Dolly Parton. I'm gonna tell you this: if you don't at least like Dolly Parton, or if you're ever a person that's like, I don't know if I trust Dolly Parton. That's it. That's 4 strikes against you and you're out, because Dolly Parton, I love Dolly Parton. Jane, not so much. She did say that her real name is Jada Starr. Dolly Parton is her aunt. Dolly Parton named her, and she wanted to actually have her full name be Jada Starlene. And she said that Dolly Parton is just, she said, my aunt is everything you would think she is. She is just the sweetest and kindest person in the world, which I don't doubt. I mean, who doesn't love Dolly Parton? It's Dolly Parton. Listen, don't get me started on Dolly Parton. One of the greatest humans living or to have lived. Dolly Parton. So, Jane is out. And Carson then was like, man, that is wild that Shane and Monet made sure that Jane guessed incorrectly, which I'm like, what? Really? I didn't know that. So it looks like the Puppet Masters are Shane and Monet, and from the looks of it, next week Carson may be a target. So we shall see. If you watched, please let me know what you thought. Before I forget, in case nobody told you yet today, I love you. You're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world. Take care of one another. Treat one another as you would want to be treated. And I love you guys. I will not see you tomorrow, but I will see you on Friday. I love you guys. Have a great night. Bye, guys.